Hey guys, what's going on? Tops here, and welcome to another Let's Have a Talk video, episode 6. And the topic of this video will be bots slash how to defeat these bots and how they affect the game. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, guys. Okay, so bots. First of all, I'd like to address that there are two types of bots. There are people who bot on their main accounts, or maybe a second account that they actually take seriously, and they would bot on those accounts either to make money or to get XP in a certain skill. Like maybe they were botting oak trees and they were going to use those oak trees to fletch or something, and they just bought that so that they can get a high woodcut level while they're asleep or while they're AFK or something. And there's those kind of bots, and there's the people who just make new accounts and they send those accounts to pick flax, and they get massive amounts of flax, and then they sell those flax and do that kind of thing. And there's all that. There's the ones who just make new accounts, just start botting right off the bat, which what I would call a bot account. And there would be the ones who just bot on their main so they can be efficient, well, more efficient, I guess you could say. And how bots affect the game? What bots do is they bring down prices, because if there are a ton of people botting flax, guess what that does to flax? It means there's a much higher quantity of flax in the game, which means there are going to be more people trying to sell a lot of flax, and there's not enough people that will need that flax. Therefore, the price of flax goes down so they can sell that flax quicker. And just there's so much of it, it just goes down because it's an infinite resource where you can keep on getting as much as you want of it, and it's taking just out of the ground. It's just coming out of nowhere. It's not like you're trading another player for it. You're taking it from nothing and basically pulling money out of the ground, as you could say. And so that's what bots do to the game, and they also create an unfair advantage to many people. If I'm making, say, 100K an hour spinning flax, and then there's another guy who's doing the same thing, except he's botting on two other accounts and doing the same thing. Guess how much he's making? Triple what I'm making. And how much work is he doing? The same amount. It's just an unfair advantage, and he could be, botting flax while doing that instead of spinning, and so he won't need to buy flax off people because he'll have his own bots do it for him, and that just again allows him to save so much money, and allows him to save so much time because he won't need to be standing up out there saying buying flax or anything. He can just straight up buy it off his other account. So that's all I have to say really on what bots do and how they affect the game. And now I'm going to be talking about what I think, how we could defeat them. Well, first of all, we cannot defeat bots 100% no matter what. There's just no way we could get rid of all of them. There's always some little way you can get out of it. But I think with my method, we could defeat a good 90% of them. And it would discourage people to even bother starting botting because it would just be too much of a bother. That's your goal. As a company, or as a company, you want to stop them before they get started. And there's not a whole ton of bots in the game yet. That's good because we don't want them to start. So we want to make it difficult as possible for people to start botting, so that people don't start botting and they're just saying, wow, this is taking forever to even just start botting. I'm not going to bother. That's what we want their attitude to be. And if they quit the game because that's all they want to do is bot, good. Because if they're just going to sit on your game and bot, you don't want them there. We don't want them there. It doesn't help anybody. So it won't matter if they quit if that's all they're going to do. So they don't need to worry about that. So what my system is basically, I've kind of had one idea at first, and then I've kind of critiqued it to make it better. And what it basically is my account is tops, as you can see here. My account's tops, and you have to register in the forums before. You can't just on most servers you can just type in username and password and you start. You have to register in the forums first, and then you log in with that forum's username, which I think is a lot more official and definitely helps with the botting situation, but it's not well enough. It's still easy to make an account. It doesn't take an hour to do that. So, my system is every IP has a master account. That's what you can call it whatever you want. But I would call it a master account. And what that account would allow is it would allow that master account to have two to three other accounts, depending on what number they want to pick, linked to it. Because I understand not everybody just wants one account. Some people want to have a scalar account, or maybe a pure, or just a second account, or maybe even a mule if they have a ton of money, which is understandable, you know. Um, so you want people to have more than one, and I'm not saying that they can only have 2 to 3. Because say you guys get banned for, whatever the hell you get banned for, and or say you forget the password on your accounts, you can't play anymore. But after you can create those 2 to 3 accounts for free. I mean, I'm not proposing that they charge money for you to create accounts after that. I'm not proposing that. That could be something that could happen, but what I mean is, basically, once you reach that limit and you want to create another one, you have to go through a system and you have to basically apply for that account to be activated. Like you'll make the account and the username will be taken, but it's not activated until a mod goes in there and basically checks the IP of the account that's requesting access to the game, and they look at it and say okay, and they look at that IP and they say okay, and they look at they don't look at the IP, they look at the master account, because that other account, say they have 5 different accounts, all those accounts will be linked to one master account, which would just be your main mostly, or whatever you want it to be. Or you could have that master account username and password not even be linked to any of your login accounts. And they would look at the previous offenses, and if any of them say botting, or anything really severe, like severe glitching or something, or scamming of like in mass quantities, not just once, but if that person botted more than even one time, if they botted, just say deny the account, and there'd be a perm deny access or decline, whatever you want to call it. So which basically every time they try to make an account with that IP, another master account, or just a new account, onto that thing, it would just say your thing cannot be sent. And that's what would happen. And they would grant access or deny access, and they would just. The reason I think the master account would work better, because the IP I think would either be harder to look into or just impossible to look into. And that master account would also have to be validated, I believe. The master account would have to be validated, because if it wasn't validated, then you could just go on a proxy and create that master account in there, and then just keep on making accounts on proxies. So you would have to just validate that to make. I'm not sure about too much. I don't know much about proxies. I'm not sure if they even have. They either don't have an IP, or they have an IP that's probably a lot different than a normal one. I'm sure there's ways to basically detect. Basically detect. Okay, this is the proxy he's using, and they could just perm deny access if you'd even attempt that action. Basically, to prevent the bots, and just even going through the process would be a bother for most people, unless you're serious about botting, like they're going to be making 5 different bots, and they're going to send that flex to their main, or they're just a thing they want to do because they want to go to bed, or they want to go to their friend's house or whatever, and they want to keep on skilling. And you can find just a short, brief description of basically what I'm saying in this video on the forums on projectrs.com/thread-anti-bot-system. Or you could just go on the forums yourself and go under the suggestions and feedback section, and you should most likely find this here. And please do bump it if you do visit the forums and check it out. And please give me your feedback in the comments below, what you think of my idea, how I could critique it, and if there's any errors or flaws you can detect. Or you could also post that on the forums under my thread. So I'll see you all later, and have a wonderful day, guys.